Reform UK's Lee Anderson has demanded Sir Keir Starmer recall Parliament so MPs can debate the chaotic scenes erupting nationwide. Sir Keir was accused of hiding from the problem by the straight-talking MP for Ashfield who said, "We need to be back tomorrow." His remarks follow the Prime Minister earlier ruling out a recall of Parliament after he held an emergency Cobra meeting this morning. Responding, former Tory Minister Esther McVey said, "Another bad mistake by Keir Starmer. Of course, MPs should be recalled to Parliament straight away." Nigel Farage this morning also urged Sir Keir to bring MPs back to the Commons in a lengthy statement posted on social media. Reform UK's leader broke his silence on the riots erupting in the UK after the murder of 3 girls in Southport a week ago. He said, "I have been totally appalled by the levels of violence seen in the last couple of days. Ever since the soft policing of the Black Lives Matter protests, the impression of two-tier policing has become widespread." The Prime Minister's faltering attempts to address the current crisis have only added to that sense of injustice. He added, "We must have a more honest debate about these vital issues and give people the confidence that there are political solutions that are relevant to them. A recall of Parliament would be an appropriate start to this." Mr. Anderson and Mr. Farage's plea for M.P. summer break to be cancelled came shortly after Home Secretary Yvette Cooper vowed a swift crackdown on mindless yobs who perpetrate horrific violence on the streets of Britain. She also warned anyone inciting violence on social media would face the wrath of the law. Speaking to Sky News, Ms. Cooper said, "So we should be clear, there will be people who were thinking they were going on their summer holidays this week, and instead they will face a knock on the door from the police." Her words follow the Prime Minister's warning at an emergency press conference yesterday, where he told the far-right thugs, "Be in no doubt, we will get you." Sir Keir said, "The police will be making arrests. Individuals will be held on remand. Charges will follow. And convictions will follow. I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder." It came after horrific scenes of hotels being set on fire and violent street clashes between groups of thugs and police. And now there are fears of more disorder with at least 39 more marches being organized for later this week. So far, there have been 378 arrests since the violence broke out last week, with the National Police Chiefs Council, NPCC, warning the total was expected to rise each day. Several suspects faced charges in court on Monday, as ministers and police chiefs descended on Westminster for the meeting setting out the response for the coming days in a bid to clamp down on further unrest. Calls for the army to be brought in have so far been dismissed, with the government insisting the police already have the resources needed to respond. Setting out the action to be taken after the meeting, the Prime Minister said, "The first is we will have a standing army of specialist public duty officers so that we will have enough officers to deal with this where we need them. The second is we will ramp up criminal justice. There have already been hundreds of arrests, some have appeared in court this morning. I have asked for early consideration of the earliest naming and identification of those involved in the process who will feel the full force of the law.